Hello, brothers and sisters. Sister Hagar here. I have to bring you this very important message. But before I get into that, I just wanted to share with you guys this photo. If you remember back in my previous video that I just uploaded, it was saying like, repent, final preparations. And I was sharing with you guys that I was outside waiting on my laundry to wash. I was at the laundromat. And I kid you not, guys. I'm not kidding. I wouldn't do this to you. I wouldn't lie to you like this. I was when I first got there, I, was looking for available washers that were empty. And so I was like walking back. There were people like in the first row, the second row. And I just kept walking until I found an empty row. And it just so happened, once I got to this row, there was, empty available washers. There weren't people, it wasn't all crowded and stuff. So I turned down the aisle and I knew that I needed several washers. So I was counting like, no, I need at least 2 or 3. So I was like, I'll stop here. And this is where I pulled my buggy over. You can see the wheel of my cart. And then I just happened to look down. I didn't even know that the washers were numbered. And look what number washer I happened to literally walk to begin doing my laundry. This is exactly where I stopped. Number 17. So I just thought that was so interesting and funny. And so this is highly symbolic. Speaking in terms of doing laundry and washing, because this is symbolic of cleansing our garments and making sure they're prepared and ready. And it just so happened that that day I went outside after I put my laundry in to do a video message about that dream the Lord gave me about last minute preparations. So I just thought that was extremely interesting. So, the next thing I want to touch on right quick, I just want to make sure, and I've stated this several times, but I want to make sure that I'm being very clear when it comes to the 17th, which is tomorrow. Going back to my original videos that I first released, regarding number 17, and when I eventually found out it was leading me to March 17th, I was very clear that that it was not a rapture date for me personally. I know that other people may think that it is, or may be saying or preaching that it is, and I can't speak to that. I can only speak to what the Lord specifically tells me, and that's what I am to follow and do. So, and I've also kind of just posted a disclaimer down at some of my recent videos, but just in case you guys were not aware or you haven't read or seen these disclaimers, I just want to make it 100% abundantly clear that March 17th for me personally and for this ministry and this channel is not a rapture date. And it never was in any of my videos. I was always very clear that March 17th, according to what I was told, marked the first day of the new year, which would be a new beginning and a season of hope. That's exactly how it was interpreted and given to me, as a new beginning and a season of hope for us. Okay? A season where the world will be turned upside down and shaken. Things are about to get shaken. So for those outside of the will of God, it will be a negative thing. But for those inside of the will of God, it will be a very joyous, positive thing. Beyond our wildest imaginations, okay? Very wonderful and joyous things. A change is coming for us. This is our season. It's our time. Those who have done their due diligence and walked with the Lord, this is going to be our season. So, that's just always how the Lord has communicated to me. Change, new beginning, joy, reward, and a season of hope. Okay? Now, can that translate into meaning the rapture? 100% yes. That is possible. Very possible. But did he say 100% guaranteed? Did he say this is going to be the rapture? No, he never said that to me. And so I'm not going to repeat that to others. So I just want it to be completely clear on that note that as far as I'm concerned, I've never claimed tomorrow to be a rapture date. And you guys should not set your heart and hopes on a specific day and date. It's more about a season. March 17th tomorrow just marks the beginning of a new season. Okay, and a very special season. A historic season. A very biblical season. We're going to see a lot of things fulfilled, okay? Don't get me wrong, there's going to be a lot of things. It's going to be a show to behold. And from my understanding, this is the season that will lead into the rapture. Now, where at in that season, I honestly have no idea. It's possible it could be tomorrow. I'm not saying it's not. It's possible it could be 3 days until the season. It could be 3 weeks. It could be 3 months into the season. I just have no idea when it comes to the particular day. Okay, he has not released that to me yet. So I want it to be clear on that. So, moving on to what I actually brought everyone here today for. And this is mainly towards a specific group of people. If you already believe in the rapture, pre-wrath, if you already believe in being covered and protected by the Lord and Him commanding us to pray that we escape these things that are coming upon the earth and that we're to spiritually prepare and cleanse ourselves and ready ourselves as the bride so we enter into the wedding and don't get shut out like the foolish virgins, and that we strive to have that covering on earth and also be spiritually prepared to make the rapture. If you already believe in that and you're trying your best and walking in that, this is not really at you, okay? Because you're already on the right track and you just need to continue to walk steadfast in it and continue every day to try your best. This is for the crowd, okay? And I'm going to say this very clearly, who don't take the rapture seriously or don't think it's important or they don't believe it exists. Whatever your case may be, this is not an argument to convince you of anything. The comments will be closed in this video. I'm going to deliver exactly what the Lord gave me and showed me. And I'm going to leave it at that. And it's going to be on you. It's going to be on each and every person, whether they have the humility to take it to the Lord in prayer or what they choose to do with it. Because this is very serious. This is literally one of the last, most important messages that I will deliver. And I can sense that in my spirit. This is like finishing up the task that I was supposed to do as far as helping the bride spiritually prepare. And this is like the most important things that the Lord wants me to get out there. And so this is one of those messages where it's really focused and concentrating on where our heads and hearts and spirits need to be right now for the season that we're about to enter. Because like I said, it's going to be a lot of shaking going on. And you want to make sure you're on the right side of that shaking. Believe me and trust me. So, this is just to share what the Lord has given me and what His message is. So, the first question is regarding this message. This is in regards to... I hope this is bright enough. Okay. If you think you are ready for tribulation, okay? You think you would never deny Jesus or take the mark, you better think again. And I'm going to explain why the rapture is important. Those who are unconcerned with rapture are being tricked and deceived into a lack of spiritual preparation. And what I mean by that is, for those of you who think something doesn't exist and it's nothing that's real and it's nothing you have to prepare for all the people who think, oh, there is no rapture, that's just fake, that's just made up, that doesn't exist. In your mind, if you don't think that it's real, then therefore you have no reason to prepare for it. Because why would you prepare for something that you don't think exists or you don't think is going to happen? That's a deception to get you to have an unspiritually prepared walk with the Lord. If I know that my place of employment is not open on Mondays, why would I wake up and take a shower and get dressed on Monday to go to work? That is where the deception is. There's a deception and a trickery. This is aside from the debate. I'm trying to share something that's life or death. I'm going to get into it, but this is risking your salvation. Okay? So you want to stick around, trust me when I say that. So the deception is not just to get you to not believe in rapture. It's the deeper what's behind that is to get you not to think that you don't have to prepare for it. And that in turn ends up being a person who has a lack of spiritual preparation. And so when you're just sitting comfortable on a couch, you don't think you have anything to prepare for. You don't think you have any higher levels of spirituality or relationship with the Lord to climb and work towards. You don't think any of those things. You just think the end times are here. As long as I'm aware, as long as I have faith, they're going to get here when they happen. There is no rapture. There's nothing we can do about it. When it happens and I have to give my life for Christ, I will, and I'll be in heaven, skipping around, enjoying heaven, so I can just sit here on this couch and drink lemonade, and everything's going to be what it's going to be, and I got it taken care of. That mindset is the same mindset that people have already who are not properly covered by the Lord, believers, Christians, and that's why they've fallen victim to fires in California. Judgment that's supposed to be meant for the world. That's why they're homeless now in Puerto Rico. That's why they got killed and died from the flu epidemic. That's why possibly how many of those people that got crushed under that bridge yesterday, you don't think none of those people were Christians? That's why they're gone and dead. As all this chaos is unfolding, we're seeing people who are uncovered and unspiritually prepared because they weren't where they were supposed to be with Christ in their walk. And that covering was at jeopardy. And they fell victim and prey to some of the judgments that have unfolded on the earth that was supposed to be for the world and unbelievers, but they got caught up in the middle of it from not doing what they're supposed to do spiritually. That's why you have Christians who were uncovered and unprepared and not where they're supposed to be, getting shot and killed in school shootings. Their kids getting killed, okay? This is just the hard truth. So, it's a deception to get you to feel comfortable spiritually and stagnant, not moving and walking and preparing, but very comfortable. Because you don't think there's anything to prepare for. Even though the scriptures say the bride made herself ready for her husband. Those who have not made themselves ready because they don't think it's anything they're preparing for. They don't believe in a separation. They think everyone's going down the same path and the same road and it's going to end where it's going to end. Yeah, I'll have to die or maybe get my head cut off, but that'll just be a couple seconds. Once those couple seconds are over, I'm going to be in heaven, skipping around with the birds, singing, hanging out with Jesus. We're going to be, having a great time. Well, I'm going to show you the very frightening rebuke in living color that the Lord showed me. So, this is in regards to a dream the Lord gave me. And many of you I'm going to get to a question that a person asked me on one of my videos. So someone asked me and wanted to know, I'll finish up this. Those who are unconcerned with rapture are being tricked into a lack of spiritual preparation, and ultimately, you are gambling with your salvation and eternity. Now, some of you all, right off the bat, instead of being slow to speak and quick and eager to listen, because that's what the scriptures say. I don't know what we do down here in our flesh. We are quick to respond, quick to rebuttal, quick to debate, quick to speak. And we're very slow to listen and let the teaching and understanding unfold. This is feeding into the understanding of St. Patrick's Day and the symbol the Lord gave me. Those who have that patience and are meek and humble to wait, to let understanding and wisdom unfold, to let the Lord unveil something to them. They're the ones who reach that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Those who have no patience, who think they know everything, who are quick to shut something down as soon as they think it's wrong, you'll never reach that treasure at the end. You will never reach it. You will constantly be throwing away your own blessings and your own treasures. And it'll be nobody's fault except your own. But anyway, so a viewer asked me, which is a very good question. So this video is in response to that. And they just wanted to know, will heaven and salvation still be available after the rapture? Okay. And the biblical answer to that, of course, would be yes. I'm not going to be one of those people that are teaching, you know, there's no more mercy left, no more salvation left after the rapture. After that, everybody's doomed to hell. That's just not biblical. I mean, come on, let's be real. Okay, so the good news is, yes, of course, salvation will still be available to people. People still will be saved. And, you know, so is heaven. Okay, so that's not an issue. Those things will still be available with or without rapture, whether you're in the rapture or not in the rapture. However, this is what the Lord just showed me very recently, within the last week or so. However, it will be extremely hard to hang on to it. I want you to understand what I'm saying. It will be extremely hard to hang on to your salvation outside of the rapture. So yes, it will still exist. Yes, salvation in heaven will be, and it will still be available to people, but it's going to be extremely hard to hang on to it. If that don't have your ears poking up, I don't know whatever can have you listen or pay attention, or at least hear something out, or take something serious, or take it to the Lord in prayer. If that doesn't get you, nothing else will, I don't think. So, I'm going to explain to you how. So, getting to the dream the Lord gave me. It's like I saw the world and the beast system was being ushered in. So that's where we're at right now. The world is being ushered into that system, right? It's beginning and unfolding. It's setting up. It's getting its wheels turning. That's where things are going, transitioning into. And while that was happening, the subject came up regarding me denying the Lord Jesus. And at first, when I heard it, I was I was very shocked and caught off guard, and I didn't see that happen in the dream or the revelation. And I was like, no. How did I do that? That's something that I wouldn't do. And then I heard it be like, it was like spoken into the dream, the verse as a reminder and a sobering reminder when Peter denied the Lord Jesus. And it was spoken into my dream. The understanding and revelation I got was that any person has the possibility to deny the Lord. Me, you, that's why he used me in the dream, showing me I have the possibility. Anybody has the possibility. And that's why he reminded me in the dream, and it's reminding everyone listening to this video and message, everybody has the possibility to deny the Lord. If you're walking in a fleshly body, you have the possibility to deny the Lord, to give in to your flesh. This is why the tribulation is so dangerous. It has nothing to do with what you think you understand. It has nothing to do with what doctrine you believe in. It has nothing to do with how ready you think you are. I'm here to give you directly out of the Lord's mouth a very blunt and sobering reality that he gave to me and to everyone else to know. So, obviously, when I got that reminder, this is someone that loved Jesus, loyal to Jesus. He wasn't a Judas. He had real faith. I mean, this was the Apostle Peter himself. And the Lord was reminding me, if he can do it, so can you, and so could anybody else if they were put in that position and situation in their flesh, failing. Okay? So, before you think that you're so ready and equipped to face the tribulation, and you don't think you need to care about the possibility of rapture, and you think you're just gonna have some easy street of just getting beheaded, a quick death, and then you'll be in heaven, that's not the problem. The problem is, since you're going to be in that flesh, in that tribulation, everyone has the possibility to give into that flesh and take the wrong road and route. So it's going to be very hard to hold on to that salvation. I'm not saying you have to be raptured or believe in the rapture to have your salvation. You have it. It's just the point. In that time period, it's going to be very hard to hold on to and not surrender it up for those fleshly situations, such as fear, buckling under fear, such as having your children's lives be at risk, loved ones, such as starving, all those things, temptations, such as being afraid to die. You think you're not afraid to die? This is not just going to be a normal, easy, wonderful, peaceful death. This is going to be a horrifically frightening situation. And for all the people that think they're so ready, oh yeah, I'm going to be lined up, ready to get beheaded, I'm ready. Guys, you better think and guess again. Look what happened to Peter. I'm going to continue. Now, after that, I was taken. I wasn't in the tribulation, but it's like I was observing it. And how I knew I was observing it, because I was on the outside looking in through a TV screen. And the Lord was with me, and he was showing me an example. This is to furtherly build on this message. As confirmation, I was told to look, and I was watching from outside of the tribulation. And I saw it was a Christian, but they had this armor, like knight's armor and warrior gear on, fully armored. They were doing exactly what they were supposed to be doing. This armor means that they were walking in the Lord, walking in the Spirit. This is a person who loves Jesus, has true, sincere faith, all those wonderful things, just like Peter. and probably just like many of you. So they had their armor of God on, because I saw it. It wasn't even their head. They had the helmet and everything, full body armor. And guess what? When it came time for that person to be taken to go get their head cut off, they were struggling and had a hard time. They had a hard time taking that final walk, guys. I'm not kidding you. This is not a joke. And this was a person who was fully armored in the armor of God, and they still had a very hard time making that walk. Other believers had to gather around him and drag him there. That's how bad they were struggling. And he just wasn't ready the way he thought he was. He was saying, wait, not yet. Even with the full armor of God. So, and you may say, oh, if you got the full armor of God, there will be no hesitation. You want to bet? Let's continue. Let's continue. Let's look at even the example of the Lord Jesus himself. Hello? In the Garden of Gethsemane, right before he was taken. Jesus himself struggled. If he didn't struggle and it was a piece of cake for him, there would have been no reason why he went to go pray in the garden to begin with. It's because he was under distress. There would have been no reason why he said, gathered up the apostles and said, let's all pray together. Let's go into some spiritual warfare. Guys, make sure you stay awake and pray. He gathered up that spiritual warfare battle, gathered up those numbers, had them pray while he went in and also prayed for a reason. Because it was a war, a battle, a struggle. Okay? He didn't just sit outside and wait for the soldiers and whistle and drink a cup of wine and say, this is going to be a piece of cake. I can't wait to go do this. This is nothing. That's not what he did. It says he was in great sorrow. And I'm going to leave, you guys can read it and you need to think about this. This is Matthew 26, I believe, starting at verse 36. I'll leave the link below so you can read it. But just to kind of touch on some of the things that happened, he was telling the apostles, my soul is very sorrowful, even to death. Remain here and watch with me. Okay, and he fell on his face and went to go pray to Father, asking Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. So here he is asking Father, if it's possible, any chance in your permissible will, let me escape out of this or not have to go through with this. However, because he was in 100% holiness and submission to the Father, obviously he said, but if it's not inside of your permissible will for me to get out of this, and this is your will, let it be done. I completely surrender, and I completely will go through with it. And if you notice, he left the garden and had to go back and pray again 2 times. That's a sign of a struggle. He was God in the flesh at the end of the day. He was born into the flesh. That's why he said, the spirit is strong and willing, but the flesh is weak. Yes, he was all-powerful God, but guess what? He was born into the flesh, just like us. So he endured and experienced all the weakness and all the temptations the same way we do. However, he just never gave in to them, and he always responded to it the right way in perfection. That's the difference. So, if the Lord himself had to pray his way, battle his way, struggled with it, was extremely vexed and bothered, distressed by it. He had to pray, ask the Lord multiple times, could you let this cup pass? But if not, I will surrender and go through with it, of course. Why would he ask the Father, if it's possible, can this cup pass from me? If it was just such an easy thing. So if Jesus felt that way, you better check your pride at the door. Think about how we would feel. We're not even nothing close to him. Trust me. Trust me. So there's a reason why we're told to escape that hour of temptation. And it's a reason why it's called the hour of temptation. I will leave additional verses below regarding, and make sure you read them, regarding the hour of temptation and how we are to pray to escape these things that are coming on the earth and that are going to come to pass and be fulfilled. Okay? Luke 21:36. Revelation 3:10, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation that should come upon the whole world. This is saying that hour of temptation is in the tribulation where your flesh can be tempted. And you could easily fall prey and surrender to that flesh and give up your salvation under that fear. Don't think you can't. This is why the rapture is important. And regardless whether you believe it or not, or think it's important or think it exists, you need to ask yourself these questions, because things are going to be way more difficult than you think. And you're playing Russian roulette with your salvation and your eternity. God bless. I hope and pray everyone receive this in humility and go pray about it and ask the Lord for guidance and understanding. And I will see you guys next time.